Hello there, everyone, and welcome to GamePoints episode 222. Your weekly get-together, we talk about recent gaming news. I am, as always, your host, Stephen Brown, and joining me today is...
I'm David.
Tonight, David. PlayStation 5 finally shows itself, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that before the show's over with. We have a whole mess of trailers that dropped over the past few days over this not E3, and EA might finally be on the verge of giving me something I have wanted for a very long time with Star Wars. But I just don't trust it. We'll see. But first, I want everyone here watching us live at Twitch TV/GamePoints, later over at YouTube.com/GamePointsPC to know that this is an audience interactive podcast. So, if you're live, feel free to join the conversation. If you're not, feel free to join in the conversation in the comments down below. Either way, try to keep them germane to the conversation at hand. I want to know what your guys' opinions and thoughts and feelings are on the topics we discuss tonight. David?
We love feelings, especially.
Before we get to any of the news, by the way, Captain Ice Cold, I see you in chat. Good to see you. Before I get into any of the news, I want to talk about the fact that we've both been playing Destiny 2 again.
Yeah. I don't know
now,
why.
Yeah. What's your opinions on that going around? Because you don't seem too enthused about it.
I'm trying really hard to like that game.
What's holding you back?
I think it's that game. I think that Destiny 2 is actively working against people. Like, the gameplay is pretty fun, but every single piece of the game actively hates me.
Like, in what way? Can you give me some details on that?
Tons of matchmaking drops all the time. I'm having just looking at the quest list and seeing how fucking grindy that game is. Keeping in mind that I have like 700 hours in Warframe, and I'm complaining that Destiny 2 is too grindy.
I think it's one of those things where you're getting bombarded with like multiple years worth of shit all at once.
The problem is that since I played the game originally, right? And I played through the old content, but never any of the older expansions. And now there's like this new First Light, Last Light, whatever the fuck they call it these days, where every character starts at a higher power level than I ended the last game at.
Yes.
But my character was like fast forwarded so that he's considered to have beaten all of the old content, even though some of it he hasn't completed. So when I logged into the game, my character had literally no direction. I have no quests in my log. I am in a strange place. None of the vendors really seem that interested in talking to me. Like, you just have to look stuff up, and I'm used to looking stuff up. But even then, since this update happened, it seems like none of the guides or tutorials or walkthroughs or any of that crap that's out there on the internet about Destiny has been updated as well. So I'm a stranger in a strange land. I can't find my way around. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. It just...
So you're kind of running to the experience that I had when I tried starting Warframe up a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I feel purposeless.
No, completely understandable. I get it. That game is not... That game is decently... Good.
But it's fun, right?
It is.
Shooting stuff feels pretty good.
That game is friendly if you start a brand new character, or if you have been an expert, if you've been playing it since the get-go.
That's what it feels like.
If you're coming back like we both have with an already established character, they assume that you know what you're doing, and they just throw you all the shit that you missed at once. And it is nuts. Like Captain Ice Cold saying in chat, that's the reason why he never went back to it, because the backlog's insane. And it is grindy, though keep in mind, this is 3 years worth of content with, yes, the quests are grindy, but they were also doled out at like a pace of, here's a small grouping every 3 months. They are meant not to be consumed the way we're trying to rapidly do it.
No, seeing it all at once, I'm aware that it was like eked out very, very slowly, but looking at it, every single piece of it is padded content.
Yes.
Which I get,
absolutely.
and the problem is that the more I play Destiny, the more I realize that Warframe is not and has never been an MMO. It is a different kind of game.
Yeah, Destiny is very, very much an MMO, especially now with how they have just gone full live service with it.
Yeah.
I know this is old news for some old school Destiny players, but remember, both David and myself have not played this game since it first came out, and we just both decided to get back into it recently. It is definitely setting itself. Yeah, you're right. Warframe is more of just a shooter. Destiny is full MMO. It is. The difference between this and World of Warcraft is simply the fact that one's a first-person shooter and the other isn't.
Yeah, and I don't think I was expecting that.
Okay, fair enough.
But when we played it before, Destiny was still kind of in that nebulous. They didn't know what the hell it was because, there was still an Activision involved and who knew what the hell was going to happen. And so now they have an idea. They've got a plan. They're doing their own thing. Destiny 3 is not going to happen. They say they have no one working on something resembling that. This is their game. This is what they wanted Destiny to be in the first place. So that's cool. And I think it's going to go somewhere.
And I'm glad they're not making a Destiny 3, by the way, because I'm playing through Destiny 2. I'm having a hard time differentiating between what was in Destiny 1 and in Destiny 2.
Well, and apparently half the Destiny 1 stuff is coming back.
Yeah.
So cool.
Fuck, the most recent expansion, Shadowkeep, takes place on the exact same goddamn map that was in Destiny 1. Now, yes, they have updated it. They have made it prettier. They have added a few things on there. Captain Ice Cold Chat says, will there be a Destiny 3? No, they've straight up said, I don't know if they've said that there would never be a Destiny 3, but they more or less said that they are going for the...
They have no intentions of working on it.
And they have announced expansions for Destiny 2 going all the way into 2022. So, if it's coming, it's going to be at least 3 years away. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that because it's something that we both happen to fall back into. It's a game whose buzz never really seemed to have died down. I remember we were talking about, as recent as the last PAX West, there was still a massive line for Destiny content.
Yeah, I thought that was so weird.
Yeah.
I think we made fun of it.
Yeah, we did.
Still playing Destiny. This is ridiculous. I mean,
apparently yes.
Less than a year later.
Boy. I'm enjoying it just to get that out of the way. I've always enjoyed Destiny. It's just something that WoW I can play solo. WoW I can use matchmaking to get into something with. Destiny, you can't really do that with the raids. Even their matchmaking system in there, you just sit there and you wait for hours and nothing happens. So you do need other people to play it with, and I'm glad to finally have that. Something that I can do in WoW is do solo. I can't do Destiny solo. So now that we're all back in there, for the moment, I'm kind of digging it. Before we move on to news of the week, one final comment in chat. They're saying it's a niche community that is slowly growing, especially after they parted from Blizzard. I think that Bungie breaking from Activision Blizzard is the absolute best thing for them. And I can already see it in the direction they're taking that game. That's the big reason why I got back into it, because I was like, I like where I'm seeing they go with this game. I am willing to play this once every couple months for a little while to see how it goes, as opposed to not doing anything.
It feels like it has a direction.
Yeah, it actually feels like it's going somewhere. So, now that that's out of the way and we're done talking about a game that's 4 years old at this point that we're just now rediscovering, let's go ahead and look to the future of gaming. At least that's what the PlayStation 5 announcement was called. We had this big hoot-a-doo over the past, was it Thursday? I did live stream it if you're interested in watching my live reactions to the box reveal and all the games coming out. You can probably find that in the VODs somewhere if you're watching at twitch.tv/GamePoints.
Somewhere.
David, did you watch this thing as well? I watched the entire hour and 15 minutes or so of it.
I was actively working, so no, I watched it later.
You didn't watch it later? Did you watch it later?
I didn't watch it live, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I just looked up the stuff I cared about.
Okay. They did the typical E3 thing that I've been liking Sony's doing a lot lately, where except for last E3, which I think was really bad, where they would sit you down and go, here's an hour of game trailers, which I love. I love the format to it. It's something that I want to see more things do. It's one of the reasons why I think that Microsoft conference a few weeks back kind of missed, because they marketed it poorly.
Oof, did you watch the PC game show? Because damn, that was like an hour and 40 minutes.
I tried. I tried to, and I pieced out of that shit real quick. I just watched the trailers later. The PC game show has always been... This is an overused term on the internet, but I think cringe sums it up best.
Fair.
And I feel bad because I know a couple of the people that were the hosts of the PC game show. I've met them. They're nice people. But specifically, just something about it, I go, guys, what makes you think this was a good idea?
Hey, yeah, I like Dollar Tree Bill Murray.
It does look like him a little bit. I can't remember his name. I don't know who that guy was, but it is one of those things I look at, and you're right. That thing could have been shaved down by at least an hour or so, and it just felt like they stretched it out for the sake of stretching it out. They did not need to do that. But anyways, back to the future of gaming. One thing I want to say before we get into all these right here. You will notice that most of these trailers said either timed exclusive or developed for PlayStation 5. That does not mean exclusive to PlayStation 5. So, you'll likely see all this stuff on all platforms if it can handle it. You might see some cross-generational shit. Things might be on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Xbox Series X.
Or you might see it on PC in 4 years.
Or you might see it on PC in 4 years.
And they're just covering their asses.
And I'm loving that Sony's doing that too. It's making me less and less inclined to buy the goddamn thing when it comes out. So, the conference starts off with the ultimate fuck you, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The very first thing you see is the Rockstar logo.
Oh my God, everyone's so excited. There's so many things it could be. There's only one thing anybody wants it to be.
It could be Grand Theft Auto 6. It could be Bully 2. It could be Tabletop Tennis 2. By the way, that Tabletop Tennis game, really fucking good. If you never played that PlayStation 2 Tabletop Tennis game, it was really well done. Instead, it turns out Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming to the PlayStation 5.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Now, I don't blame them.
Rockstar money. That's what it's giving.
I do not blame them for bringing GTA 5 to PlayStation 5 because, as we have talked about ad nauseum, that fucking game is still consistently on the NPD charts every month, and it has been out since PlayStation 3.
Yep. Keeping in mind that they gave it away for free on the Epic Store, and the Epic Store crashed because of how many people wanted to get a free copy of GTA 5 because people still want GTA 5.
So
it is the best-selling piece of media, period. Full stop.
Transcends all genres. Books, films, TV, all of it.
It's all the way up at the very, very tippy top, and there's nothing even close to it.
So I am fine. This isn't to bitch that GTA 5 is coming to PlayStation 5 because it's a great move. It's smart.
Yeah, of course.
This is
it's a game that prints money.
Yes. This is to bitch that your conference that you called the future of gaming started with a fucking 8-year-old game.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing I saw was, remember the PS2? The PS2 had 3 Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah.
With GTA 3 and then Vice City and then San Andreas. And then fast forward, and they managed to drag a Grand Theft Auto game across 3 console generations.
Yes.
Damn, son.
Go Rockstar, though. That's making money. However, I don't want to take up too much time. I just found there was something
this could have been in the middle.
How that started. Yeah, it could have been.
This didn't need to be at the front.
What they should have started off, in my opinion, is what came next, and that is Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, did you ever finish that Spider-Man game?
No.
God damn it, David.
I need to borrow it from you.
You're fucking up. That is the best Spider-Man game I've ever played. It's one of the best PlayStation 4 games I've ever played.
I'm sure it is.
It's real good. Dealing with this new whatever it is. It's not Spider-Man 2. They're kind of coying exactly what it is. I think they said it's a standalone expansion. It feels like it's going to be more like Infamous First Light or Uncharted Lost Legacy, if you're familiar with what those are. So expect probably a 6-hour experience or so. It looks real good. You're playing as Miles Morales, who is in the Spider-Man game. Surprisingly in the Spider-Man game, if you ask me. I was shocked to find him in there, but I was very pleased to see him in there. They incorporated him very well into the story. The way the DLC of Spider-Man ends, not necessarily spoiling anything, just Peter Parker goes, okay, I'm going to train you to be Spider-Man. And this seems to be continuing on from there. Spoilers, Miles Morales becomes a Spider-Man.
What?
Yeah, who knew?
This is ridiculous.
But more Spider-Man, more specifically, that Spider-Man is always welcome because goddamn, that game actually had balls to do things with the canon that I'm shocked it did. That I won't tell you what happens. But when it happened, I kind of went, fuck. Okay, they did that. All right. So go them. I'm looking forward to more Spider-Man with Miles Morales. Then they showed something that you're probably into.
Yeah, then they jumped to the game that you assumed would sell me a PS5. But
no, I didn't assume. I thought it might have.
Unfortunately, as exciting as the idea is of a new Gran Turismo, and as hype as I would be for Gran Turismo 7, this looked easily as good as Gran Turismo 4 did.
Yes, and I think that is more of a problem with the fact that it is really... Gran Turismo is a showcase piece. Yes. It is designed to look amazing. And as we get more and more advanced in technology, it's becoming harder and harder to show what it can do on a stream that is only 1080 and 30 frames per second when this game is designed to run at 4K and 60.
Yeah.
So I don't think Gran Turismo 7 showed very well because of online streaming
the tuning
limitations.
shop's back. It's a full campaign. I mean, all the stuff that I wanted from Gran Turismo 4 is in this game, but I had to wait an entire another console cycle to get it, and yeah, that's a bummer.
All right.
I want to play it, but I don't want to pay.
It's not worth. It's not worth. Let's just ballpark $660 for you.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Fair enough. They did follow up with a new Ratchet & Clank game, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I have always enjoyed the Ratchet & Clank games. This one looks like a goddamn blast because I've always loved the idea of alternate dimension travel and alternate timelines and shit. The last Ratchet & Clank game they made was pretty goddamn fun, and I think released at a budget price. I think they did the $39.99 or the $59.99 pricing for it, like a little bit cheaper than normal, I think.
Ratchet & Clank's better than Jak and Daxter.
I agree. 100%. Jak and Daxter tried to mature itself up with the later things, and it felt like it lost a little bit of its soul. It did not know what world it wanted to be in, a kid platformer or a mature, storied adventure game.
Ratchet & Clank just stuck right in the wheelhouse. The game's just fun.
Absolutely. Also, female Ratchet shows herself at the end. Some white-skinned Lomax or whatever the hell they're called. Sony have confirmed that she will be playable as well, and I'm sure we'll get some more details later. David?
Yes.
What's one thing that we hate on this show?
I
know that's a long list.
Is it Blizzard?
No. Let me start off with talking about...
Is it G2A?
No, it's not G2A. It's not G2A. Okay. It's Square and their naming conventions.
Oh, God. Wait, are you mad about the name of this game? Because this is one of the saner ones they've had in years.
They showed off from Square a game called Project Athia. They call it Project Athia under a working title, but I goddamn guarantee you it's just going to be called Project Athia. I hate that name because I don't know if I want to spell. I don't know if I want to pronounce it Athia, Athia. I guarantee you they're going to add some kind of fucking weird squibble at the end before we're all said and done here. This looked like I don't want to say a generic action game, but it kind of looked like a generic action game to me. I actually got a lot of Enslaved vibes from it. I don't know if
I think it looked tight. It looks like a perfect alongside a new launch console game where it's an adventure game.
It's their Heavenly Sword.
Exactly what I was thinking.
This has a lot of vibes from it.
This hits that niche of it looks better than last gen by the right amount, and it'll be, decently fun. Not the most insane best game you've ever played, but probably something that you can use to be like, check it out, I got a PS5, look at this game.
It is being written by Gary Whitta, by the way. This is the man who wrote Rogue One, Book of Eli, and is currently doing an Animal Crossing talk show, which is going to have Sting on it, of all things, as well as Danny Trejo and a whole bunch of other famous people.
And now I'm sold. That's all I needed.
Yeah, I like Gary Whitta, by the way. He's a decent cat. Followed up after that with Stray. This looked simultaneously adorable and depressing.
That people seem happy about it. People like cats.
Stray is the weird cyberpunk dystopian kitty cat game where clearly humanity has died off and you just have all these robots wandering around, and then you have like this cat that looked like he might have been outfitted with a courier pouch. I am sure that will be good. Returnal. What did you think about this, David?
I don't really know.
It wasn't meant to be a hard question.
It didn't do anything for me. How's that?
All right, fair enough. This is the David Bowie looking person, dies over and over again. Female astronaut crashes on a planet, goes a little bit far, dies, immediately comes back at a point of the crash on the planet. I have this weird fascination with like the time loop shit. Like being stuck in a perpetual loop of fuck, I died, let's do this again. The whole like the
Groundhog's Day.
Or Groundhog's Day, Edge Tomorrow, stuff like that. For some reason, that narrative hook sticks with me.
You don't need to compare it to anything else. You can just say Groundhog's Day. Everybody knows what that is, obviously. everybody in the whole world.
Maybe. I don't know. I want to find other things compared to. I want to see how this game actually works before I give it my stamp of approval. But of all the games on this list, this is the one that had me the most intrigued. I don't want to say most excited, but I'm definitely more curious to know about this one than any of the others. What else do we have coming out, David? I'll let you take over for a bit.
Sackboy: A Big Adventure. This is the platformer Sackboy game that is not going to be traditional like Little Big Planet, so don't expect any kind of level creator or any of that fancy stuff.
This is Sony needing a Mario game. That's not Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Daxter. They want like an actual cute mascot platformer, and Sackboy's too valuable property to let sit on the shelf.
Yeah, Sackboy's type. I'm fine with it. That's cool. Destruction All-Stars showed up, which is not a sequel to PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, but is instead a...
I actually thought this was for a second, by the way.
This is... This kind of appeals to me in that it's some weird mix of Twisted Metal and Rocket League.
Yeah, it looks like Twisted Metal with Rocket League, and you can get out of your car and fuck with people.
That's all I got the whole time. The whole vibe was just ridiculous, but also, why am I in an arena? There's people around. You can drive up the walls, and then cars are crashing into each other. I don't know. This does
look right up your alley, by the way.
It does, but who knows if it's going to be any good or if anybody's going to play it. It'll probably be multiplayer only or some nonsense, right?
Possible.
Kena Bridge of Spirits, is that like action adventure? I don't know. It kind of looked like an adventure RPG to me.
It looked a lot like. Did you ever watch that movie Kubo and the Two Strings?
Nope.
Okay. You remember the Xbox 360 game Cameo?
Nope.
Okay. I got nothing for you then.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
Looked like open world adventure game to me.
Yeah, exactly. Vaguely, fably.
I would say less open world. Think more like open world the way Tomb Raider's open world.
Yeah, I can go left and I can go right and I can go up, and it looks pretty good. And then there was Goodbye Volcano High, which I honestly didn't look up at all because
don't bother.
I assumed it was an anime game.
This is a game that neither one of us is going to care about. It's already mired in controversy right now. Go figure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just honestly assumed that it was another like anime I've never heard of that was being turned into a video game. Is that not the case?
No. I thought it was too. The way the trailer for this Goodbye Volcano High went off, it made me go, okay, this has to be clearly an established franchise I've just never heard about. No.
Oh.
I looked up Volcano High. The only Volcano High that I got was like some weird like action movie from either Japan or Korea. I'm not positive which.
Fair. The next thing I'm sure actually got you to take notice. There's a new fucking Oddworld game coming out.
Yeah, not just like Stranger's Wrath, but like a traditional Oddworld game. They rolled out Lauren Lanning to talk about it. I loved to hate these games. Because I wanted to like the Oddworld games. But when they came out, I was just not in a place where I had any patience to fucking deal with them. Because they're all at their heart kind of puzzle games.
Yeah, it's fair.
And I really wanted to enjoy the Oddworld stuff. I never did. But now that I'm a little bit older, a little bit more patient, I really want to try this. And I'm shocked that there's actually an honest-to-God new Oddworld coming out. That's not like Stranger's Wrath. That's not a remastering or remake of one of the originals. But a true, honest-to-God new Oddworld.
Yeah, pretty surprising. We saw some more Ghostwire Tokyo, which I think still looks rad.
That game looked nothing like I imagined it.
Oh, really?
I didn't expect it to be first person.
You were thinking more third person adventure.
Yeah, I was honestly. I saw Ghostwire Tokyo, and I immediately started going, "Okay, this is going to be Evil Within 3."
Oh, interesting.
It's gonna play like that. It's gonna be a survival horror game with some ghosts instead of psychological shit. It's gonna be like an over the shoulder camera action game. Think like the newer Resident Evils, or maybe not the newer Resident Evils, but think like 4, 5, 6 Resident Evil. And when I saw that this was all in first person, and the art style to it was way brighter and more kinetic than I thought it was going to be, I suddenly realized, wait a minute. This could potentially be the Breakdown sequel I always wanted.
Yeah, no, I think this game looks flippin' awesome. I'm actually really excited for it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Jet the Far Shore was also shown. This is that kind of cinematic, far view. Like, it looks like you're driving like a spaceship type thing over different landscapes and stuff. It's some weird interstellar adventure game or whatever they were talking about.
This game screams Journey to me.
Which is exciting because Journey's really, 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 really damn good.
Never played it.
You never played Journey?
Nope. It's on PC now. I keep looking at it, but I've never played Journey.
That's ridiculous to me.
I need to sit down and play it one day. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Jet the Far Shore. Up next, Godfall. Now, Godfall, if I recall, has the distinction of being the first official next-gen game ever announced. This is from being published by Gearbox. This thing looks like a two-human clone. And this entire fucking game has Battleborn written all over it.
Why?
I don't mean visually. I look at this game and what I see is, whereas Battleborn was like felt like a generic cash-in on the hero shooter craze, this feels like a generic cash-in on the action RPG loot drop thing. I don't even know if there are loot drops in this game, but it feels like it is.
They describe it as a looter slasher. They coined that term during the video. This is the world's first looter slasher.
Just everything about this game screams designed by committee, or just as bad, designed solely by Randy Pitchford. Now, I know he's not making it. I know that they're only publishing it, but there is just something about this game that I look at and go, everything about this game screams like someone trapped in like the early 2000s when they're trying to get rid of the extreme 90s thing.
This gave me serious God of War vibes, but not the new one.
Like the old ones?
Like the old God of War 1 to 3 vibes. But I mean, it looked fun. The combat looks cool. And then the only thing is, I would rather it just be an action adventure game and there's like a bunch of cool weapons I can get. But they said it's a looter game, which means there's going to be a shit ton of loot drops. And so there's going to be a million different swords. And so they described it as a kind of tough action RPG where you have to, play well.
They're trying to make a melee Borderlands, a Sworderlands, as it were.
That's better than looter slasher. They should have thought of that.
Let's see. Chat saying generic over-designed style puts me off. When will people learn that simple is best? There's a reason Minecraft is so popular. Yeah. Just everything about this game screams like early 2000s to me.
Yeah. It's got 3-player co-op, so you can play it with 4 people, and it's a dungeon crawl. It's a first-person dungeon crawl, which on paper, if you leave it at that, seems cool.
I want to make sure I heard you right.
Yes.
Did you say this has 3-player co-op so you can play with 4 people?
Yes.
As in 3 other people can join you?
I think so.
So it's 4-player co-op.
I don't know, man. I'm just reading the thing.
What's it say?
It says enjoy one. Oh, maybe it is just 3 people. Enjoy 1, 2, or 3-player co-op. I don't know how to read.
Okay. So you do understand my confusion, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Fair enough.
3-player co-op, and you're just there too.
But yeah, it like I said, everything about this screams Battleborn to me. It feels like it's just a day late and a dollar short, which sucks because it could be a good game, but it really feels like it should have came out 2 or 3 years ago.
I just know that I won't touch it because of the fact that it is a loot drop game, and I mean it's not Diablo or something. I don't want to play a action RPG that's got loot drops because I'm over Borderlands. Yep. I have been for a long time.
Yeah, Borderlands 3 did not change that for me.
I don't need to change my gun every 6 seconds because the numbers on this one are slightly higher, and the guy I'm shooting at doesn't care what gun I'm shooting because all the guns are the fucking same, and if I don't put on the one with the bigger number, I can't hit the guy hard enough. And I'm just worried that this is going to be that same problem of, okay, I like this sword. This is fun gameplay. I like this. Oh, I'm in a new room. I can't damage anybody. Now I have to use this whip. And I hate it, and it's stupid, but it's what kills the enemies in the room. And
it's what has the highest stat level right now.
It's not interesting.
Fair enough. At least Destiny lets you play around with some shit.
It's basically the same fucking game.
I'd fight you on that, but I don't feel like getting into it.
It's just as bad. The fact that you can be underleveled and do no damage to things is wackadoo.
It's a matter of scale, though, in my opinion.
Fair.
Like, for example, in Destiny, to go back to that fucking conversation, there is an event that requires... Let's use generic terms. There's an event that requires like 1,000 points to do. That's its recommended level, 1,000 points of gear. You can do that event and actually do damage at like 850. But when you first have access to that thing, you have first access to it at 750. So you do nothing, but at 850 you can actually start doing stuff to it, although it's highly dangerous to it. And something like, say, Borderlands, and I'd have there, or not. I don't want to say Borderlands specifically because I don't know if that's specifically a good example here. But the thing that you're talking about, you'd have to be within like 10 points of gear to actually do damage something to it. So it's a matter of scale to me.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
But it all comes back down to the fact that all of these games suck compared to Dark Souls, where you can just walk up to any damn thing and kill it with the basic ass sword.
Fair enough.
And that is always what I come back to. I always prefer being able to beat shit with just raw gameplay as opposed to getting a thing with a bigger number. Every time. I will always choose that.
Fair enough. I'm not saying that's not a bad choice, and I absolutely agree with you because I think that gameplay, I think gameplay is more important than what numbers are on my sword.
Yeah.
But there is something entertaining about the gear treadmill. That's why so many games have it.
Yeah, that's fair. Just telling you where I'm coming from.
Going back to the conference, we had Solar Ash. Don't really know too much about it other than it had a very orange art style.
I think it's a platformer.
For sure. Hitman 3 announced. IO Interactive, give me Freedom Fighter 2, you fucking coward. I love your Hitman games. I am jazzed and surprised you were able to get that license when you split from Eidos. Fucking give me Freedom Fighters 2, you fucking cowards. Do it. That's all I ask. Astro's Playroom, they're taking the little Astrobot guy and making a new game with him. The Little Devil Inside. David, do you have something you want to say about this game?
Little Devil Inside, it was fun because I didn't watch any of the trailers for it, and so when I Googled it, all I know is the fact that apparently the dev apologized for the racist stereotypes in the trailer. That is everything I know about that game, is that apparently it's racist. I didn't even see it when it happened.
What isn't these days? And that's all I'm going to say on that. Moving on. NBA 2K21, who cares? Bug Snacks. Did you see the trailer for Bug Snacks?
That I actually did. That is a fucking acid trip fever dream of a video game.
What's your opinion of this game?
I will never play it.
Same
I will
here.
not watch a stream of it. This is probably going to be really exciting for somebody. If you love weed, you should probably play it.
A lot of people who love weed, David.
I know. I think this game's going to do very well.
All right, David.
Yeah.
This one's yours.
Still not going to sell me the console, but I am appreciating the fact that Demon's Souls is officially getting a remaster, and it is coming out on PS5. Look at that. It skipped an entire console generation. Demon's Souls being put together.
It's important to mention it's not a remaster. It is a full-on remake.
I don't think that's accurate.
Remaster implies that they just up-res the graphics. This is getting like a full graphical overhaul. I think we might be quibbling over definition stuff. See, when I hear remaster, I think like The Last of Us remaster, where it's...
Yeah, when I hear remake, I think Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I suddenly realized where you could be coming from, too. So that's why I was like changing up a little bit. When I hear remaster, I think, like I said, it's just a graphical up-res, where you just take the 1080 and make it 4K. But it's not really a remake either, because like you said, Final Fantasy VII. So do we have a word for this?
I'm going to still go with remaster.
Okay, fair enough.
It looks an equivalent amount better than the original, than the Crash game remasters did compared to the original.
That is a really good example to use, is the Crash Bandicoot one, because those are also technically remasters too. So yeah, no, that's a good game to use for that.
Because that is something that had a huge jump in graphical fidelity, and it looks way better than it used to. But it is not a remake. They didn't. I don't think they made the game from the ground up. They had some amount of assets, or they did something. Maybe it's a whole bunch of textures, and it's, I'm sure, a shit ton of work, because damn, all of the cutscenes I know for sure they're remaking from the ground up, because you can't just up-res an old cutscene; it'll still look like shit. And damn, those look really good.
Everything I'm reading is calling this a remake, by the way, not a remastering. So maybe these people know something that I don't know. It says being rebuilt from the ground up, getting a new fractured mode. But I'm not seeing anything that says like they're changing the boss fights or anything like that. So I think this once again falls into the category of exactly how much work needs to be done to differentiate between a remake and a remaster.
Yeah, now we're just arguing over weird.
Now we're just arguing over semantics at this point.
Regardless, it's rad.
Yeah.
It looks really damn good, and people will probably be very excited to play it. I can't justify what is most likely going to be a $600 purchase for an additional $60 purchase.
It is looking more and more likely that's going to be $600, by the way.
For a game that, yes, it is a good game. It is also a game that came out fucking years and years and years ago.
PlayStation 3. Everything that's old is new again.
Everything that's old is new again. And as much as I love games from 2009, I don't know that I would want to spend $660 to play it.
Also, let's be real here. If it is just a remaster and they keep the exact same combat in Demon's Souls combat has not aged very well. Like, they've refined it so much. Like, if you play Dark Souls 1 compared to, like, say, Dark Souls 3. Let's use like for like. Because I don't want to talk about Bloodborne, because that plays completely together. Those do play radically differently. The combat has significantly evolved while still mostly staying the same at its core. There are certain things that feel better to do. It's a little bit more responsive. And I don't mean faster, I mean more responsive. As From Software grew as a developer.
I'll also always fall back to Dark Souls is what turned it into a franchise. Demon's Souls was a good game.
Yes. So I'd be curious to know if they actually did anything with the combat to this and fiddled with it, which may or may not piss people off. Also, important to note, I don't think From Software has any hand in this at all.
Why would they?
Yeah, exactly. Demon's Souls is not their game. Sony owns the rights to that. Following up after Demon's Souls was Deathloop. This is Arcane's assassin versus assassin stuck in that Groundhog Day environment again. I was on the fence about this after like reading more and more about it, of all the information that came out of the past few days. I am full bore on board with this. I am fucking psyched with Deathloop. Arcane makes a great world to play in. If you have played Dishonored or Prey, you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Their level design is amazing, and I would love to play two dueling assassins in this weird world. Plus, going back to the previous conversation we had, it tickles that weird time loop thing that I just love in a genre so much. I don't know why, I just like it. It's like alternate history to me.
Also, supposedly, this game is one of the ones also confirmed to run 4K 60 FPS on PS5.
Okay, cool. So I got a PC.
That's cool. I know.
It's good to know. It's good to know. We're talking about PlayStation, technically. I make that snarky comment. I really shouldn't, because it is important to note that for people who are watching, because we don't do so just for us, despite me using it as a platform to get shit off my chest that is pissing me off. David, we had Resident Evil 8 announced. Cool. I'm into it.
What the fuck happened to Chris?
Yeah, Chris definitely looks like he's ate a couple more bagels than he should have.
Like, we went from Bowflex Chris to guy that might not actually be Chris to what happened to you, Chris?
I was about to say what happened to the entire franchise in general. I don't necessarily mean that as a bad thing, because I think Resident Evil 7 was really good, but this is so deviated from what Resident Evil once was.
Yeah. I don't know. Resident Evil is weird to me now.
Yeah. It's very unusual, but I will also be playing this, and it comes out
7
next
and
year.
8 are still Resident Evil games, but to me, it's kind of on name only.
Yeah, that's a good way. It feels like these should be spin-offs.
They should. They can be tied in universe, that's fine, but they're first-person games. They're not fucking Resident Evil. There, I said it.
That said, still looking forward to playing it. We also have Pragmatic. Now, I wanted your opinion on this, because the second I saw this, I thought this was a Kojima game.
Dude. Yeah, no, I totally see that. It definitely had that Kojima vibe, because it looked fucking weird. The weird, like, why can't I think of the word? The spacesuit guy?
Yeah, he looks like the Ludens mascot.
He looks like the Ludens guy. And then it's trippy and it's weird, and there's like a cyborg cat, and I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Weird little girl. They're on the moon. I think
probably the coolest looking game I think I saw on the trailer.
Definitely the most weird.
Things I didn't know that was coming, right? Or things I didn't suspect was coming.
They ended the show with something that I will absolutely buy day one if I get this console, and that is the Horizon sequel. You all knew that was coming, Horizon Forbidden West.
Yep.
It is absolutely more Horizon. Horizon is one of 2 games that I've actually platinum on PlayStation 5. That's how much I love that son of a bitch. I am really excited for Horizon Forbidden West. Saw my boy Silence there toward the end doing some shit with Hades. I'm really excited to see where that goes. And then finally, they revealed the console itself. Let me bring it up.
Hell yeah, dude. I love Vornado fans. I really do.
What is your opinion of this console? Are you being sarcastic, or do you actually like this thing?
No, I said it looks like a tower fan.
It does look like a tower fan. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like a fucking hotel in Dubai.
It looks like shit.
Now, if it was solid white or solid black, would you be more into it?
Vaguely, but it still looks like shit.
Okay.
I've seen renders of it in black, and while it does look better, it looks like a fucking fan.
Yeah.
Why does it have fins? Why does it look like I can't put it fucking on its side?
It looks like an 80s villain with his collar popped up.
I've seen way too many fucking memes of anime characters wearing this as a coat. So, like, constantly, at all times.
So, no price on this guy, but as you can see, once again, I still have the picture up. As you can see, they showed off the controller, the headset, media remote, docking station, camera, and 2 versions of the console.
Yep.
One of them being the digital version.
Disced.
Now, we all know, not supposedly, that there is going to be an Xbox digital version. There have been rumors that for a while.
I love the fact that Sony announced Lockhart before Microsoft got fucking asked to.
But Sony fucking did it first to them, kind of sucking the air out of that room right there.
In other news, I would not buy, if I do get a PS5,
mm-hmm.
Honestly, one of the main reasons I would get it is so that I have an Ultra HD player.
So you want the
Blu-ray
disc?
Player. Yeah, if it doesn't have a disc, I wouldn't buy it. Why the fuck would I do that?
What do you think these prices are going to be?
Way too much.
Do you have any idea? Because the one thing they didn't announce was price.
It's going to be $550.
$550 for which one?
$549 for, I don't fucking know, whichever one.
For discless or disc one? Could you figure if a disc? Okay, you figure if a discless one would be $100 cheaper, right?
Yeah.
So which one would have the $549 price point? The Chonk Boy, because that guy. By the way, people have been doing these design mock-ups. They took the size of the CD drive and compared it to every other console. This thing's the biggest fucking console of since like PlayStation, since at least PlayStation 1 days.
I mean, it's the tallest.
He's chunk as fuck.
But
he is the widest too.
No, he's not, dude. The Series X is a goddamn PC case.
Okay, the picture I saw I don't think had Series X on there, to be fair. Maybe it did.
Yeah, I've seen it next to the Series X, and the Series X is just fucking wide as shit, but shorter. And the PS5 is taller, but a little thinner.
They're both big consoles, though.
That being said, though, back to your question. I would assume that the discless version is probably the 550, but I would hope that it's going to be 450 and 550 for the fancy pants one. Now, the reason on that is that obviously they have to avoid $599 because they'll be laughed at. If they go over $600 and they make it $650, people are going to be like, what the fuck? But they're in a unique position that if they make the system 550 for the one that has the HD Blu-ray player, most Ultra HD Blu-ray players are like $200 or more still. If you want to go, like, if you want to like the fancy Sony one. So if they jam that thing in here and still make it, you know, couple $100 more than a fancy Blu-ray player, then they'll have, you know, a kind of cool spot in the market, even though you can just buy a fucking Xbox right now and have an Ultra HD Blu-ray player. But for the Sony kids, right, that didn't bother to do that, maybe that's enough. I don't know.
David? I think these mad lads did it.
Yeah.
I think the digital one's going to be $4.99.
Yeah.
And the chonk one is going to be $5.99.
You think they're actually just going to hit it and just fucking
they can
deal with it?
Avoid the memes, because this is a feature I did not foresee.
Because they have a cheap one.
Yep. They can get around it. They can go.
That's smart.
They can go, no, buy the cheaper one then if you don't want it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's going to be $5.99. Because remember, we were talking about the component price on there. And it's like, there's no way it can't be $5.99, but they have to avoid that. They faked this out. They went a route that I did not foresee them doing.
Well, and we know that all the actual components, at least last time they were drawn up, came out to be like fucking $530 or something. So we're like, it's gonna.
I need to find that article again.
But like I just said, HD, like Ultra HD Blu-ray players are pretty expensive. Now, obviously, there's no way that the actual drive costs that much because people have to make money, and that's how things work. But I'm guessing it's a decent chunk of price, right? If you rip that thing out, maybe it gets it under $5, and then they can sell it for $4.99.
I am positive that it's going to be $4.99 and $5.99 because they can afford to hit the $5.99 from a PR perspective if they have a cheaper SKU, and they can dodge.
And that would leave the prices open. That'd leave the prices open for Xbox to hit $5.49 and $4.49, depending
on who announces first. It all depends on who announces first.
It's just this weird ass game of chicken.
I'm still. This is super aggressive. I'm still of the mindset that Xbox goes, fuck it, $300.
Well, I'm assuming that their digital one will be $100 cheaper than Sony's digital one. Their disc-based one will be $100 cheaper than Sony's disc-based one. It's just going to be, regardless of hardware costs, that's what they're going to do.
I am convinced that Xbox will sell their fucking new console at a loss themselves just to win this console fight. That they will come out and go, you can buy the digital one for the cost of a Switch.
Even though it won't actually help if they don't have the games.
Right. But that's why you...
And right now, where I'm sitting, guess who is winning on games?
Well, who's the only one that's had their goddamn game conference this year so far, though? So
who's been talking about their fucking console for over a year?
Microsoft, but they haven't shown any of the games yet. I get where you're coming from.
Like,
but we're going into this generation with only half the knowledge as far as the games go. Microsoft could blow us away on their 2020 event sometime in July, or it could just be a wet fucking fart.
Yeah, I hope they have something going on.
But either way, I can foresee Microsoft going, the digital version of our console is going to be $299 and comes with a year of Game Pass. I don't care if that console costs $500 to make. I can see Microsoft eating that cost.
I don't think they'll take that much of a hit.
I can see it. Games are so profitable, right? There's so much money in games right now, and Microsoft is hungry for it. And when it comes to pure cash reserves on hand, Microsoft beats Sony because everything that's not PlayStation for Sony is in the fucking toilet right now.
It's fair.
So I see Microsoft just being super aggressive about it and just daring Sony to drop their console price down below $299. And that, my friend, is why I still love the fact that Microsoft is in this game. Because it's keeping Sony honest.
That's fair. I mean, it's not even a comparison. Microsoft is worth like $1 trillion.
Yeah, that's why I'm convinced they can get away with doing what I'm saying. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I think Microsoft is going to be the first to blink on this, by the way. I think they're going to give us price on their July 2020 event, whenever that is. I think it's sometime in July. I can't remember when, but I think we'll know price.
They're going to give us price so they can also release it first.
Yeah. I could see them also saying, hey, this is out in September.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
We'll see. Whereas I don't think PlayStation 4 will be any earlier than November. Anyway, that kind of wraps up what the PlayStation conference is for. We've spent 15 minutes on that alone. So
15. That seems long.
Yeah, 50. 5-0. And we still have a bunch of news to go through it. So let's go ahead and lightning round this shit real quick. The PlayStation 4 conference. Yeah, you love a lightning round. The PlayStation 4 conference was the only thing that was going on. 5. I kept typing 4 over and over again, too. That's going to be a bitch for a while. The PlayStation 5 conference wasn't the only game in town. A whole bunch of other venues happened, like the PC Gaming Conference, as we were talking about earlier. Guerrilla Collective did their own thing. I wanted to highlight a couple of the games that I saw from then. I want you guys to go take a look at this yourself, see if you feel the same way about them as I do. This isn't everything that was on there by any stretch of the imagination, but just games that I saw that kind of made me go, huh.
There's so much. Yeah. If you haven't, you can always go to the E3 recap website for 2020 and see every damn game that's been announced since,
So we got 5 of them here.
Thing.
First one was the Eternal Cylinder. Now, it's a survival game, which are a dime a dozen, but something about this reminded me of Spore, and I love the fact that this giant fuck-off flaming cylinder crushes everything. Kind of want to get looking at that. Project Wingman. This is essentially Ace Combat. How can I not be into that? Star Renegades. Star Renegades looks fucking amazing. It's from the team that did Halcyon 6, which is also an amazing game. Pick it up, take a look at it. It is a science fiction RPG. That's all like... It reminds me, think old Super Nintendo, not Super Nintendo style.
It looks fucking awesome.
But it has that feeling to it, with a pixel art style. Like, think Child of Mortar pixel art style with the Super Nintendo
and then some full-on, like, Zone of the Ender Second Runner, like, anime cutscenes.
Yeah, really looking forward to playing that. And then the other one I wanted to mention real quick was Evil Genius 2, the sequel to Evil Genius. This is essentially the 1960s super spy version of Dungeon Master, where you play an evil genius. And you create your little evil island hideaway, getaway with a giant skull on there to take over the world with a giant laser beam and shit. And you have to train your minions to fight James Bond. I'm really looking forward to that. David, you had one more on here you wanted to mention.
Technically, I had a bunch, but I put this one on here as a placeholder. I put down Lo-Fi, which is a very much like Cyberpunk Noir, something in my wheelhouse, but it's a VR game. And one thing I noticed is there's a shit ton of VR trailers that happened, and I think that Half-Life Alyx has a positive effect on VR already.
I think so.
In that a lot of these games don't look like rail shooters anymore. They really are starting to look like video games where your character is moving around the environment and then your hands are grabbing stuff. And in one of the trailers, you actually see the individual fingers move because they built it with that controller in mind, which is what they did.
Like any new technology, it takes a while for people to figure out how to use it to its full benefit. And I think you're actually going to start... VR is still very niche, still very expensive, but I do think it's not going away. It is going to continue growing in popularity, in my opinion.
Yep. And I'm just excited that my clear pick for Game of the Year is already having influence on the world, because that's exciting.
Just nothing even close to Half-Life Alyx so far for you.
No.
Fuck, I need to play that game. I need to go down to our friend's house when we're actually able to go out again, and I need to sit down and play through that game.
It is one of the most immersive video game worlds I've ever been in.
Yeah, I need to fucking play it.
And as a Half-Life fan, it's a whole other thing. But I'm not trying to get into that. I've fucking...
Yeah, we've waxed poetic about it before.
I like that game a lot, but I'm more excited for where VR is actually going, and there was a lot of them. Lo-Fi is just the one I grabbed, but there's a bunch of other cool stuff.
While talking about VR, this game was recently confirmed to have VR from the top down all the way through, and that is the recently announced Star Wars Squadrons.
Hell yeah, October 2nd, 2020, coming out for $40 US.
That price both excites and terrifies me.
Yep, it's right there in the middle.
So this is billed as experience a unique single-player storyline that brings you through the events immediately after Star Wars Return of the Jedi, showing you both sides of the conflict. Essentially, you're going to be able to play both a TIE fighter and an X-Wing pilot, which sounds a lot like they could be making a space combat game like X-Wing versus TIE fighter, David, but it's EA, so I trust them to fuck this up somehow.
Who knows?
And the fact that it's priced at $39.99 makes me think that this is going to be... Here's 3 single-player missions for each side with a multiplayer suite attached to it, and it's meant to be a multiplayer shooter. Like a multiplayer space shooter. That bothers me, because I don't want to play this multiplayer. I want a full-fledged campaign that's not fucking 4 hours long and shit like Battlefront 2 was.
But it's got throttle and stick support.
That's
VR.
Amazing, though.
I don't give a fuck if it's multiplayer only. That's tight. Although my favorite thing about this game has nothing to do with the game itself. It's that ridiculous, dumbass... I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a petition going around that says boycott Star Wars Squadrons because it doesn't have enough eras. Why are you only showing us Return of the Jedi? We want more prequel and sequel eras.
Couple things. One, Captain Ice Cold in chat more or less is saying it right now. I want to see the gameplay. And we'll probably see the gameplay because EA has their event coming out next week. I'll have the time and date for you there. 2, I don't think these people realize Star Wars is actively a bad franchise by my definition now. Because there are more bad movies than good movies. Do you know what the bad movies are? The prequel and the sequel eras. This so far is 100% original trilogy area, just a little bit past that, right after the Battle of Endor. I'm able to work that into Return of the Jedi. In fact, the first mission for both sides is probably the Battle of Endor.
Who knows?
That means it's good Star Wars and not shit Star Wars. Like these people who are... These people are signing a petition saying, please, EA, take a steaming hot load in my mouth.
Okay, hold on. I don't want to burst your bubble. Actually, I do want to burst your bubble.
Okay, Rogue One was amazing if you're going to go that route. But that does not mean that there are not more good Star Wars movies than bad Star Wars movies.
Rogue One is the only, like, objection or fucking... Rogue One is the only actual good Star Wars movies.
Like, even with the original trilogy, you're saying?
Like, as a movie, as in, like, this movie is good or this movie is bad, Rogue One is the only good Star Wars movie. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love Star Wars, but not because they're good movies.
I am willing to accept that. That's fine.
Because they're fantasy, adventure, exciting movies.
They are literally space wizards and swords in space.
Yeah, dude. It's just weird fantasy nonsense. And guess what? The prequels are fantasy nonsense for people younger than you and me.
Incorrect.
And guess what? The sequels are fantasy nonsense for people even younger than that.
Also incorrect.
Sure, you can pretend that you're right, but you don't even know a child.
I know many children.
Name one child.
Jonathan. Jonathan
anyway,
Banks.
We're fucking up the lightning round.
Macaulay Culkin.
Talk about.
Still a child, right? Certainly a child under my heart.
Dude, like, got over a meth addiction. Come on.
Wait, hold on. I can't just let you slander the Culk like that. Was he actually addicted to meth, or was it just cocaine like a normal fucking person would be addicted to?
Anyway, so it turns out that PAX West was finally canceled.
So yes, PAX West officially canceled today. It's now 100% PAX Online. It's going to be 9 days of 24 hours streaming content from September 12th to the 20th. One thing I do want to give them credit for is they're actually going to be having panels and shit still too.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And somehow they're going to have demos that you can download and play on your computer or some weird shit. I have no idea how that's supposed to work.
Oh, you just do it through Steam. Here's a trailer for this game, demo live now on Steam. Go get it.
Cool.
That's not that bad.
You don't get to talk to the guy that's really excited about it, and you don't get to accidentally shit talk a game in front of the guy that made it. So
you don't get to get in an argument with the guy who created a franchise that's 30 years old about what his logo on the fucking cover is. For those not in the know, I argued with the guy who made BattleTech about the fucking silhouette of the mech on the MechWarrior logo. Because I'm that kind of asshole. Then I stopped when I looked at his name badge and I'm like, "You're the guy that designed all this, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You're probably right then, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah." I went, "Fair enough." Finally, and as far as news goes, the only conference worth watching was announced last week. The Devolver Direct 2020 will be in mid-July if all production goes well. This year they'll have some updates and release dates on upcoming games and a couple of new games to reveal, all with gameplay. Can't wait to share more, according to their Twitter feed. God damn, do I love the Devolver Direct. We'll see the epic story of Nina Struthers and see if she can actually get out of the hell that she is currently in. Like, if you haven't watched any of the Devolver shit, just take a look at their E3 stuff. It's so good. That wraps up for news of the week. Let's go ahead and move on to things to take a look out for. These are 2 things that are happening later this week that you might want to keep an eye on. First is the aforementioned EA Play on June 18th. It'll be at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm sure we'll get more information on Star Wars Squadrons as well as whatever sports games they have rolling out. Maybe whatever they're going to be doing to the Star Wars license after Fallen Order, and I would imagine a remastered announcement of some kind. A lot of people keep saying it's going to be Mass Effect remastered. I say that remaster project they're working on isn't Mass Effect, but Knights of the Old Republic. I'm kind of going out on a limb here because I think they're going to try to cash in as much of that Star Wars license before they lose it. Also this week, Summer Game Fest Developer Showcase, June 22nd at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So take a look at that as well. David?
Yes.
We're still in the middle of a whole bunch of announcements coming up. We have the Xbox thing sometime in July, the Cyberpunk 2077 Night City thing coming up. I'm convinced Nintendo's going to drop some shit on us any day now because they have traditionally done something around this time.
Oh, yeah, they love doing that.
Yeah. Every week I'm going to predict this in Nintendo Direct because remember, you only recall the times I'm right.
That's exactly right. That's why I always bring up that BattleTech.
But between now and then, before we figure out what's going on here, what can I play to keep myself occupied?
All right, so there's actually a couple neat things coming out this week. It's very exciting. We're starting up with the Darius collections. They're re-releases of the old Darius shmups. If you remember those side-scrolling shooters from back in the day, these games were pretty damn cool. There's the Darius Cosmic Collection Arcade on PS4 and Switch. This has 4 titles from the arcade versions of Darius, but in 7 different versions. So there's Darius, then in the new version, then the extra version, and Darius 2. But then there's also like the various like Sai Gaia and Darius Gaiden, and they're all kind of the same game, but they're the different releases in different regions. So they are technically a little different. Like think the difference between Super Mario Brothers and like the Lost Levels, right?
Okay.
That kind of thing. Then there's the Darius Cosmic Collection console for PS4 and Switch, which has 6 titles in 9 different versions. So you've got the Mega Drive version, the Genesis version, the Master System version, the Super Nintendo Japanese version, the Super Nintendo US version, and this is again going through like Darius 2 and Darius Twin and Supernova and Darius Alpha and Darius Plus. And you can get all of this Darius love. Unfortunately, you would have to buy both of them to get all of them, but you can get one of these nice fancy collections for the low price of $50.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's for the arcade version. The console one is $60.
Each?
American?
American? Are you fucking kidding me? It's $100 to own both of these? Is this the shit you were telling me about pre-show?
Yeah. This is absolutely what I was telling you about pre-show. You can buy this shit on the fucking Nintendo shop right now for $59.99 US.
You know how much crack I could buy for $100?
For 124 megabytes of old as shit games.
Fuck me.
Keeping in mind that all told, it's only 10 games, but in 16 different versions.
And of the big 3 of Gradius, R-Type, and Darius, Darius is the one I would kill and fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah, dude, it's by far the worst of those. And they've had no improvements whatsoever. It's an exact, like, there's no new music, there's no new remasters, there's no anything. It's got the fucking black borders around it. You play it on the little arcade game. Like, get destroyed if you love Darius, because
that
this
shit
is the
is
funniest
just
shit
offensive.
that's ever happened. Yeah, dude. This is great. Anyway, none of the other games coming out this week matter, but Summer and Mara comes out for Switch and PC. This is an adventure farming sim game. So you're playing as a girl that's taking care of an island and exploring an ocean. So think Harvest Moon or whatever mixed with kind of like an island vibe, and you actually jump into the ocean and go get stuff from the ocean as well.
David, I love your complete lack of knowledge on new releases, by the way, other than the 2 seconds it takes to look at like skim to a trailer.
Hell yeah, that's how I do.
It's part of the charm.
What?
That's part of the charm.
Oh, yeah. Waylanders comes out for PC. This is a party-based RPG from a pretty good pedigree. There's some people that worked on Dragon Age, Mass Effect, or Pillars of Eternity, putting together an RPG adventure strategy game. So it's more classic, like I said, CRPG, computer style, you know. Hard Space Shipbreaker comes out for PC. This I probably want. You're basically playing as this space dude who's going to salvage fucked up spaceships and recover materials, and you're upgrading your gear and you're getting contracts, and you've got a billion credit debt.
Imagine if you will, because I really want to play this. I'm really excited to play this. It's in early access this week, by the way.
And it's only $20.
Yeah, early access, but keep in mind. Imagine, if you will, you're a space miner, but you're mining spaceships.
Hell yeah, dude, this game looks
so
great.
You're carving into them. You have to be careful not to nick fuel lines or reactors and shit. You might accidentally vent a room. That sounds boring as fuck, but it looks really goddamn cool.
Yeah, also it's called Hard Space, which is like the best kind of
space
genre. Hell yeah. Disintegration is finally coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is a sci-fi FPS combined with RTS elements. I've seen this game a couple times. I actually played it once. You're playing as this soldier dude who's on a weaponized grav cycle. So think of, those trike motorcycles?
Yes.
Make one of those hover and put guns on it. That's what all the little ships look like in this game. So you're a dude piloting one of those while commanding troops on the ground. So you've got your guys, you're like, you go here, you guys do this.
I'm going to mention another super relatable game because I have my pulse on what kids are playing. Do you remember an old Xbox game called Battle Engine Aquila?
Okay, one of these fucking days, your dumbass will remember that I've never owned a single Microsoft console.
Well, fuck me, man. It doesn't mean you haven't played it. You don't own the goddamn Vive, but it's still your fucking game of the year. Captain Ice Cold knows Battle Engine Aquila. There we go. Thank you, Captain Ice Cold. Yeah, this game reminds me a lot of Battle Engine Aquila.
I'll go out of my way to play things I care about. Also out this week, Desperados 3 comes out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is a strategy real-time tactics game, story-driven, hardcore tactical stealth game, but in the Wild West.
This is made by the guys who made Shadow Tactics, by the way. I do have a code for this sitting in my inbox. I will be playing this sometime this week, probably tomorrow around 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here at twitch.tv/GamePoints if you want to take a look.
There's been a couple Desperados. Those games are pretty cool. Shadow Tactics, also extra cool, so this one is probably going to be fun. West of Dead comes out for Xbox One and PC. This is a twin-stick shooter with cover. It's got Ron Perlman in it.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if this was the Ron Perlman one or not. But yeah,
this is the Ron Perlman twin-stick shooter, so there you go. Also out this week, the Namco Museum Archives, Volume 1 and Volume 2.
All I need to know, David, is this fucking less than $50?
Yes, significantly. These games are old-ass Namco video games, and each collection can be yours for $20.
Each or total?
Each.
Okay.
So we're running in the same price of like the Mega Man Legacy collections.
That's actually reasonable, at least to my brain.
It's way the hell better.
Fuck, $100 fucking bucks for fucking Darius.
Darius, like, oh man. Anyway, Volume 1 gets you Galaxian, Pac-Man, Xevious, Mappy, Dig Dug, Tower of Daruga, Sky Kid, Dragon Buster, Dragon Spirit, The New Legend, Splatterhouse, Wanpaku Graffiti, and Pac-Man Championship Edition, whereas Volume 2 will get you Galaga, Battle City, Pac-Land, Dig Dug 2, Super Xevious, Mappy Land, Legacy of the Wizard, Rolling Thunder, Dragon Buster 2, Mendel Palace, and Galpus. Gaplus? I don't know how you say that game. Never heard of it. There you go. You can get those games. They're $20 each. Waking comes out for Xbox One and PC. This is an action-adventure game, third person. It's got some demons and creepy shit going on. It's an emotional adventure through your dying mind. Battle the forces of oblivion, conjure the memories of loved ones, and join them in the fight for your life. This game actually does look kind of stylish. I'm interested in looking at it more, but probably not paying for it because I never buy anything. Best Friend Forever comes out on Switch. This is a dating sim with a dog involved. Ever wanted to raise a puppy and somehow navigate the mysteries of human dating at the same time?
Oh, boy.
Meet the colorful cast of Rainbow Bay. Date a few cuties and teach a new dog new tricks. I know people that are going to play this fucking game.
That's why it's on here. It's literally on here because I know people who would like this.
Tainted Grail comes out to PC Early Access this week. This is a turn-based card RPG that follows kind of a hardcore roguelike mode.
This is actually based off of a board game from Awakened Realms. The guys that do like Nemesis and all these super overproduced model games. Yeah. I have this board game. It's really fucking cool setting.
It's like a hard reimagining of old school Arthurian legends.
Yeah, like super dark, ridiculously so.
But yeah, you're exploring, you're making tough choices, living with your consequences. This game looks fucking awesome, I think. And finally, last but not least, you've heard of it, you've waited for it, and now you can play The Last of Us Part 2 on your PS4.
David, I'm gonna play the hell of The Last of Us Part 2. Probably stream it sometime next week. But I am still in the mindset that this game did not need a sequel.
Agreed. The Last of Us was an awesome game, and this is a...
The ending to The Last of Us was perfect. I did not need more. Or if they were to give us another Last of Us, I don't want it to be with Joel and Ellie. I would have loved to have seen like a different part of the world, or different people, or a different time period, perhaps like right after the fall.
It's the Walking Dead problem.
Yeah.
I don't need to keep seeing what those people are up to. I had a good story.
Yeah.
Like, and just give me more. Man, fuck Fear the Walking Dead so bad. They could have done so much with it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
David,
but yeah, I kind of with you. This game is in a cool universe, right? And
I'm gonna play it. It could be great. In fact, by all means, I hear it's great. I hear it's not fun, but it is like I think a reviewer that I saw compared it to like Schindler's List as far as movies go, where it deals with like an oppressive fucking subject. Like Schindler's List is not something that you would consider a fun movie, but it is a great movie.
Wait, why would you pick that one when The Road is right there?
I'm literally parroting what the reviewer said.
I'm just saying, why would like?
I know the Road might have been a better example. I get it. Like I understand what you're saying.
There's a post-apocalyptic movie that's like totally crushing and totally works.
Yeah, it's not entertaining.
Yeah.
In the normal sense of like a movie, but it is extremely well done, and you have to like appreciate it from that standpoint. And I will play through this. I will play through it on stream. I will probably get more than a little salty at it at times because reasons. But
because you're you.
Yeah.
You're 70% salt.
Yeah, give or take. I could be mined in cases of emergency. But I will likely be playing this next week, and I am looking forward to playing it. But it is still a game I don't think needs to exist. But that's just
it's probably cool though.
Yeah, for sure. Just because I don't think it needs to exist doesn't mean it's not great. David.
Yes.
That does it for new releases, which means we are at the end of the show. This has been GamePoints episode 222, and thank you all for showing up. It is very appreciated when we have an active chat like Ignis and Ice Cold and everyone else in there participate. It's always nice. If you too want to be part of the conversation, you can join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here at Twitch TV/GamePoints. If you can't join us live, you can also watch old shows over at Twitch TV/GamePoints, or rather YouTube.com/GamePointsPC. Wherever you're at, feel free to join the conversation with any questions or comments or concerns you might have. Just try to keep them germane to the topic. You can join our Discord, link provided down below there. You can follow the show on Twitter at GamePointsPC, myself at CapitalistPig21, and David there at PalsLife_Satori. I'll be streaming random games throughout the week, Wednesday and Thursday for sure, at both 1 and 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're looking at both Desperados 3 and Hard Space Shipbreaker. I have codes for them both in, and I will likely be playing both of them as well. Probably starting with Desperados, but I'm probably going to end up coin flipping it as well, just because I can't make up my mind which one I want to play first, David. They both look so good for me. I will see you all then. Thank you all for showing up. If you like what you see here and you want to support the show, you know what streamers want. Follows, likes, subscribes, bits, all that good stuff. But most of all, thank you very much for watching. This has been GamePoints, and we're out of here.